Okay, so let's start with you got to stop this bill because this bill takes hardworking families and just moves them backwards. Because the bottom line on this bill is that it cuts health care, cuts assistance on food, drives up costs for middle class families, for working families, and gives all that money to a handful of billionaires and drives up the national debt. That is like saying to a middle class family, bam, 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 three times over. So you want to wind all that back. And the key way I look at it, if you'd let me sit down and write mine from scratch,
Yeah.
I'd start with two things. The first one would be, where can the government play a good role in helping all families have an opportunity to succeed, to build? I think that's government's role. Childcare. We are 35th out of the 37 richest nations in the world in terms of what we spend trying to help with childcare. Families are spending a third of their income if they have little babies. And what that does is that keeps mamas and sometimes daddies at home. It means people are struggling. People have to they can't take jobs that have more responsibility because they can't stay late. You know how all this goes. So making a big investment in childcare would be making an investment not just in those babies, although it definitely would, not just in those mamas who could go to work and strengthen their families, or daddies who could strengthen their families, not just in those childcare workers who would start to see this as a professional job, they could stay in, you could earn a living, but an investment in our entire economy. And the reason for that, I was just talking about this morning with Fed Chair Jerome Powell. Sometimes you borrow money, you take tax money, and you invest in things that will grow GDP because that ultimately makes us all richer. So make that investment in childcare, and you know what? It even makes folks like me who don't have little babies at home anymore, it makes all of us wealthier because it makes our nation wealthy. That'd be my number one. My number two would be housing, so that more families have an opportunity to buy their housing, so that rents are not so high, so there's housing for seniors, housing for people with disabilities. We at the federal level should be investing in that. That helps grow America's middle class and make people more financially secure going forward and on into retirement. So those are my two biggies to get started.